Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I wanted to come in and talk to you guys about this very interesting story that I just ran across. Sort of strolling through Twitter, and I saw a story about a guy named Marcus Williamson. Marcus Williamson played for Ohio State. And you guys know I'm a Buckeye. You guys know I got my PhD at Ohio State, and I used to teach at Ohio State. And so I was very curious as to why Marcus was trending. And I noticed that Marcus is trending because he's been doing something that is going to ruffle feathers as it pertains to those who believe the NCAA can do no wrong. It's going to ruffle feathers with Ohio State fans. It's going to ruffle feathers with anybody who thinks college athletes should not be paid. So, Marcus, let me just kind of give you some background on this. I want to say hello, Michael Stallworth, Terry Jones, Shelton, Edward. I see you. Give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I want to have a quick conversation, but I think it's a very important conversation. So, Marcus Williamson, it appears to me that this brother was on the Ohio State football team back when they had a different coach by the name of Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer, I thought was a pretty good coach at Ohio State. I didn't understand they fired him. And he, let's see, his number was 5, and let's see what years did he play. It looks like he played. Okay, it looks like he played 2017 through 2021, and he's a good player, you know. And I mean, and just to play at Ohio State, just so you know, in case you're wondering, I mean, you got to be damn super like a superhero to get a chance to even play at Ohio State. And Marcus what isn't just a guy who was a good football player. He's not a dumb jock by any stretch. He was a guy who was also all Big Ten academically. So shout out to all the smart Black men who understand, you know, that we aren't just athletes. We're not just animals to be hauled out onto a football field and bust our heads open. We also can be geniuses. We are geniuses. We could be doctors, lawyers, scientists, everything else. He's in the tradition of the great Myron Rolle. If you know Myron Rolle, who's now Dr. Myron Rolle, he was an All-American at Florida State. I think he also played I think he played defensive back or safety, just like Marcus did. And Myron Rolle was so smart that he told the NFL, to kiss his black butt. He said, "I'm gonna go be a Rhodes Scholar." He did play in the NFL, and he was a great player in the NFL. But he shocked a lot of coaches when he said, my academics are more important than getting into your little football league. He said, look, my brain is more important than whatever job you have for me, whatever task you have for me. I'm not going to go and get myself brain damage because my brain is just as valuable as my body. And that's why Dr. Myron Rolle is one of the people I respect and commend the most, because he actually, in his own way, gave the black athlete access to his own humanity. Because remember, Colin Kaepernick kind of pointed this out in his documentary on Netflix. I thought he did a good job with this. That there's a big connection between the way the NFL drafts are done and slave auctions. There's a big connection there, and so here's the deal with Marcus. Let me get back to Marcus. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please share this video if you know anybody else that should hear this story. So I want to talk about this. I'm going to address this very specifically. I was very interested in what's going on at Ohio State because you guys know I'm a Buckeye. I'm a proud Buckeye. I'm a big fan of the Buckeyes. At the same time, I also taught at Ohio State. I taught finance at Ohio State years ago. I got my PhD at Ohio State. And I also, for about probably 30 years now, have been speaking consistently about the NCAA and how the NCAA will pay these white guys like Nick Saban millions and millions and millions of dollars. And for whatever reason, somebody just decided that the athletes, the guys, the guys that that are actually doing the work don't deserve hardly anything. Now don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure you can like I think Marcus's daddy pointed out. Yeah, you can get the VIP in the club, but I don't want to get in the club. I want that money so I can go buy the damn club. Getting in the club don't mean nothing. I want to own the club. That's where the real power is at. Nick Saban can go buy the damn club. He ain't trying to get in the club. He owns the damn club. So you get little trinkets. You get these little things that they're accustomed to using to distract black males. They think that black men are only interested in the booty, the bling, the liquor, and the weed. How many big booty hoes can I get, boss? They think that's how the black man operates. And I'm gonna tell you, some of us are operating on a God frequency. Some of us as black men have figured out that we can have the brains and the brawn. Some of us have figured out that, hey, I ain't got to just be an athlete. Sure, we all play sports. I mean, I played football, I played basketball, and I was a sprinter. I was captain of the track team. We could do all of that, but guess what? I'm also smarter than 99.9% of all the white people I'll ever meet. Very few people have a PhD in finance. It's extremely rare. So what I learned this from sports actually, is that I can be great at everything. That being great on the field is only a dimension of who I am. Give me a yes in the chat if you know what I'm saying. Give me a yes in the chat if you're teaching this to your sons. Or give me a yes in the chat if you're going to teach this to your son. Okay, because this is really important. You have to help them understand this so we don't have our men growing up and becoming one-dimensional athletes or one-dimensional people. You're also going to be a husband and a father and a leader and a man and a human being and all these other things. You're not just a football player. You're not just a basketball player. Very important to shape that identity. So now here's the deal. So Marcus has been, speaking on his experience at Ohio State. He said a few things, in terms of racism he experienced. Let's see. It says he did not join the team in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl to end the season, revealing that he has retired from football for self-care. So he didn't go to the Rose Bowl. That's going to make a lot of people mad. I didn't give a shit about the Rose Bowl, to be honest with you. I wanted to see him in the playoffs. The Rose Bowl, that's just the bowl. The bowl games are designed to make money. The bowl games are a money grab. That's all they are. Y'all know as well as I do, if you are a college football fan on any level and you think that they need a playoff system so you can really find out who the true national champion is, put a yes in the chat. All these bowl games, they had so many garbage bowls that they had bowls with teams that had losing records. I'm like, how the hell did a team with a losing record? How are you going to be 5-7 playing in a bowl game? Well, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. The Rose Bowl generates millions and millions of dollars. And it was a good game. I mean, I watched it. Ohio State made a great comeback. It was awesome. It was a fun game to watch, but it didn't mean nothing. It didn't mean shit. And so here's the deal. These bowl games are money grabs, and ain't nothing wrong with a money grab. My PhD is in finance, so I understand money grabs. I respect that. But it's not a money grab for the black community. Seriously, you really think black people benefited financially from the Rose Bowl, or do you think that this is another white supremacist money grab? This is white people using the athletic prowess of black people, mostly black men, to make money for themselves. And here's the deal. You hear people say, well, players they get to go to the NFL and make money, blah blah blah. Man, please, do you know the percentages of players in college football who go to the NFL? It's very, very low. And then also remember, the NFL, the average career span of an NFL athlete is 2.3 years. So the NFL does not stand for National Football League. The NFL does not stand for National Football League. The NFL stands for not for long. Not for long. Because after they finish destroying your body, giving you brain damage, and breaking your shit down, filling your body up with painkillers, pumping you up like a horse so you can get out there and play, they throw you out. In like E40, the rapper E40 said a long time ago, they'll find a new nigga next year. Go look it up. There's a song with that chorus. It's a great song. And basically they use you up. They turn through black men like used toilet paper. They turn through black men like used toilet paper. You are just pretty much like a napkin at Burger King. They're going to replace you, and then they're going to find somebody else, and they're going to feed them the same lie, same dream that they fed you, and they're going to use that person too. Now, don't get me wrong. Some guys go to the league, and they love it, and it works out for them, and I'm happy for you. If you're in that category, I'm happy for you. But just understand it's a sucker's dream. Some would say, how about this? Some would say it's a sucker's dream. Because in most cases I have seen, I know a lot of guys who've gone to the NFL a lot. I know a guy, I had a long conversation with a guy named Antoine Randall L, who won a fucking Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl. And Antoine Randall L said to me, and then he said publicly, I wish I had never played football. How the hell, sis, pay attention now. This is a man who won a Super Bowl. He lived the dream. He lived the dream. Highest level, Super Bowl. And still said, I wish I'd never played football. How the hell does that happen? What price did you pay to live this dream? Or was it really a dream? Maybe it was like a dream. It was really a nightmare disguised as a dream. So let me talk a little bit about Marcus Williamson. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Y'all know the Dr. Boyce breakdown is like no other. I can break it down from all different angles. I can break down what's going on with the NCAA from an academic perspective, because I taught many athletes as a college professor. I taught them at Syracuse University, Indiana University, the Ohio State University, and the University of Kentucky. I've seen the stories. I can talk about it from an economic perspective, because a PhD in finance makes you extremely overqualified to completely overstand. I don't understand. I overstand exactly how they make their money, what they're doing with the money, and what's going on here in terms of economic allocation, economic justice. And then also, more importantly, I'm a black man first. I'm not a finance professor who happens to be black. I'm a black man who happens to be a finance professor. So I can explain to you in very precise terminology exactly how this multi-trillion-dollar wealth transfer occurs, where they are taking your athletes, putting them out there like cattle, and next thing you know, the richest guy after the game is Nick Saban. Nick Saban. In fact, let me just kind of give you some stats right quick, so we can have some data to work with here, right? Let's just do this real quick. Highest paid college coaches in the NCAA. Let's see. The highest paid number 12 is Ryan Day at Ohio State. He makes $6.6 million per year. The number 11 is James Franklin at Penn State, who makes $7 million. Number 10 is Kirby Smart at Georgia, who makes $7.1 million. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, excuse me. He was at USC. He makes $7.25 million. Let me just scroll down. I'm gonna skip all the average guys. $7 million. That ain't nothing. Let's get to the top three. Nick Saban is number 3 at $9.7 million a year. In case you want to know, that's about $900,000 a month. Brian Kelly he's number 2 at $9.5 million. He's at LSU, and LSU sucked last year. Last time I checked, LSU was garbage. So this man's severely overpaid. And then number 1 is Lincoln Riley, who at USC, who is now making over $10 million a year. Now, I remember the guy at Michigan used to be on that top 10 list. So maybe this is an old list. I don't know. The guy at Michigan, I can't remember his name. He's the guy that couldn't beat Ohio State for near a decade. So I don't know why they paying him. So they paying this sucker to lose. But either way, though, and y'all saw what happened when they played. Who did Michigan play? They played Georgia and got literally hospitalized. But that's beside the point. I'm getting caught up in my football talk. So let's go deeper into this. And so here's the deal, right? What's happening with this brother, Marcus Williamson? He's 100% correct. Let's start right there. Let's just start right there. Give me a yes or no if you think that college athletes should be compensated for their labor. We live in America where workers get paid to do a job. When workers do jobs, they get paid. Labor rights do matter in America. Give me a yes or no if you think that college athletes and their families deserve to be paid on any level. Do you think that they deserve compensation, or do you think that they deserve to work for free? Give me a yes or no. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to disagree. We believe in freedom of thought here. I'm just going to try to share my perspective, and hopefully that will, that you'll hear it. I just want you to hear me. I don't want you to agree with me necessarily. You don't have to agree with me, but I want you to hear me. So give me a yes in the chat if you think athletes should be paid. Give me a no if you think that what the system as it is fine. It's good enough. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. I argue that Marcus is correct. When Marcus says athletes should be compensated, he's 100% correct. Also, what did not surprise me is that immediately when Marcus made this obviously correct statement, and he also exercised his full right to say, I'm retiring from football for self-care, he was instantly smeared and attacked by those who didn't like that, right? And again, I'm a Buckeye fan, right? I'd like for him to be out on the field so we can win. So people are mad. They're like, okay, our Negro didn't show up and play for us. How dare you? What's wrong with you? That's going to happen. That's going to happen. They're going to say, well, he just mad. He just mad because he ain't getting no playing time. He just mad because they didn't get him the ball. They didn't get him the ball. That's why he mad. He might be. That might all be true. That can all be true. He could be sitting on the sideline, man, like, man, this is some bullshit. Wait a minute. You mean I'm out here cracking my head, catching CTE, working for free, running into 300-pound linemen who I bet none of y'all would run into a 300-pound lineman for free. I bet I could pay y'all $1,000 and you wouldn't run into a 300-pound lineman. Do you know how? I mean, seriously, a 300-pound lineman who runs the 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds, who is full of steroids. How much money would I have to pay you to go and do that job? Seriously, some of y'all won't even show up to your job at Walmart. I mean, so that's a hell. So if I'm gonna do something like that, let me just be clear with you. If I'm gonna take a hit like that, you got to give me hazard pay, because that's traumatic. That is a train wreck. That hurts. So just stop it. Stop judging this man's right to say, I don't want to go out here and get pancake blocked by a 300-pound lineman on steroids for nothing. You got to pay me for that. Seriously, that's why some of y'all wonder, like, boys, why didn't you ever become Greek? Why didn't you join a fraternity or sorority? A lot of you don't know this, but I was invited to join every single fraternity. Every one of them had somebody that came to me and said, hey, we'd like for you to join. And I don't think it's because I was cool. I wasn't that cool. I've never been a cool guy. But they liked me because I had the best GPA on campus. So they knew that if they got me in their frat, I would instantly boost the average GPA for the frat, because a lot of these Negroes some of them, I'm sorry, a lot of them were just dumbasses. Their GPAs were garbage. I ain't gonna lie, I'm sorry. They just didn't study. I'm like, you gotta crack the book if you want to pass class, but they didn't listen to me. So whatever. Anyway, I remember I told one guy, I was about to pledge Q, believe it or not. And I said, so what do I got to do to become a Q? And he explained to me that basically I was going to get tortured for like 6 weeks. He said, first you got to pay us. Like, I don't know what it was, $800 or some amount of money I didn't have. So he's like, first you got to pay us $800. And then we're going to do this to you and that to you. And we might do that. And I'm hearing stories. They took one guy, they made him stick his tongue out and they used his tongue for an ashtray. I said, they used his tongue for an ashtray? I don't even smoke. Like, how the hell am I going to use my tongue for an ashtray? So I'm sitting there thinking, wait, so you're telling me, let me get this straight. So you're telling me that I got to spend $800. I give you $800 so you can torture me for 6 weeks, wake me up in the middle of the night, fuck up my GPA, and beat the hell out of me. And I said, and I'm paying for that? I said, wait, shouldn't you be paying me? Like, shouldn't you be giving me $800 to put up with that? Why am I paying you to torture me? And why would I even do that I wouldn't even do that if I wasn't, if you let me in for free, I wouldn't do it. So to me, I think about college sports in kind of the same way. Why would you do all that for free? So anyway, let's get back to Marcus. So you got to understand here. You got to understand why this kind of becomes a sucker's dream. This idea that athletes should be so enamored and so excited to go and play for a big white university that don't even hire black professors, that they will go out there and get pancake blocked by 300-pound linemen full of steroids, like, for nothing. That right there tells me how messed up your mentality might be. It doesn't mean that you can't appreciate sports. I love football as much as the rest of them. I could tell you everything about Alabama versus Georgia and the whole college football season. I can tell you all of that because I follow all these things. I respect it. I love sports. But come on, man. Who told you athletes deserve no labor rights? Who told you? We live in a country where everybody that goes to work for a company that gets paid to do their work, especially if all the people around them are getting paid. If you go to Ohio State and you're playing football, why does the coach get paid? His family flying in on private jets, got a private yacht, got 2-3 mansions, and your mama is taking a Greyhound bus because she can't afford a plane ticket to the damn game. That is a damn shame. That is, I cannot on any level even relate to someone who thinks that is normal on any level. It'd be one thing if nobody got paid. It'd be one thing if it was a completely amateur system. I can live with that. But you can't be amateur when it's time to pay the athletes, but then suddenly become a professional sports league when it's time to pay the coach. Seriously, they make these arguments, and I've been doing these debates for years. If you go back to 1995, I was writing articles. I went to the University of Kentucky for undergraduate, and they have a great basketball team. It's like a professional sports league. A lot of their players go to the NBA after college and all that. I used to write articles, and I logically, mathematically explained exactly why college athletes should be paid. And do you know that the coaches told the players, they told the black players, do not read his articles. They told them, they said, we don't want you to be involved. So when Marcus talked about how the coaches were telling him, look, when it came to Trayvon Martin and stuff like that, they were telling him, don't wear hoodies, don't get involved with the activism. That's very, very real, because when I was at Kentucky, they told them, one of the players came to come see me because a black assistant coach who read my articles brought him to see me, and they had to sneak and bring him to my office. I said, are we in the movie Boots? Like, are you Chicken George on the plantation? Like, why does a black man have to sneak and to go talk to another black man? Like, as if knowledge being shared amongst black men is illegal. This reminds me of the days when they didn't want slaves to learn how to read. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me, I'm like, damn, man, like, ain't this a free country? Like, you really got, I can't let the coaches know that I'm talking to you. I'm like, why not? Why not? They gonna beat you? They gonna beat you, Harpo? Like, what they gonna do? What they gonna do, man? Like, it was weird to me. It's weird to me. So you gotta understand what's going on. College sports is a plantation, man. It's a plantation. I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with playing college football. I know a lot of guys who play college sports. It's fun. I wanted to be a college athlete. I just wasn't good enough. But when I looked at the system from the top down, it is a horribly corrupt and terrible system. At the very least, you have guys like Deion Sanders who are at least making sure black athletes are now getting a chance to come to HBCUs, or at least considering HBCUs. Shout out to Deion down at Jackson State. That's going to at least make sure that at least black schools are going to benefit from black athletes. I mean, this idea that you don't even think that black schools deserve the best black athletes, that's crazy to me. Why in the hell should the University of Kansas have the best black athletes and HBCUs can't? These athletes need to be in places where the people care about them. That's it. And black athletes should be generating black wealth for the black community. Why is that a terrible statement? What's wrong with what I just said? If I was Jewish, it would make perfect sense. If I was Asian, talking about the Asian community, it would make perfect sense. If I'm white, talking about, supporting our corporations and all this other, that's fine. You understand it when everybody's winning, but you don't get it when somebody says black people need to start winning too. So you got to understand what Marcus Williamson is talking about with this racism in college sports and this economic injustice of athletes not being compensated for their labor. This is much, much deeper than just what you see on the surface. This is a vast, unbelievable, blatant form of economic apartheid. If you read Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Black Labor, White Wealth, every black person should read Black Labor, White Wealth and should read Powernomics. Every Wednesday night in our book club, we're reading that book word by word, syllable by syllable, paragraph by paragraph, because it explains to you that what Marcus Williamson has experienced at Ohio State has a 400-year rooting in America. It is a 400-year tradition for white people to get wealth off of black labor. This ain't nothing new. The reason you think it's new, some of you, is because you never read the books, because they ain't gonna teach that to you in school. Why would they do that? That's only gonna piss you off. Last thing they want is a bunch of big, strong black men that are pissed off and actually have the courage to actually confront white supremacy. They don't want that. So they teach you how to be a good slave so you won't cause any trouble. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. BoyceWatkins.com. If you want to join the book club, it's totally free to the community. Just go to BoyceWatkins.com. You can see the link to the book club right there. It's my stock market class, all that stuff. But the book club is free, so feel free to join that. All right, so let's finish up here with this Marcus Williamson conversation. Here's the deal. So again, Marcus Williamson raised the stink because he retired from football, said he wasn't going to play in the Rose Bowl. They're mad at him now because he's not doing what they told him to do. And he's also bringing up the issue of college athletes being paid. His father, I read his father's statement. His father did what a great father should do. He supported his son. The fact that he has a strong, intelligent, involved, active father, to me, speaks volumes about the kind of young man he is. Remember, I'm a big believer in fatherhood. Y'all act like daddies don't matter. No, the daddy matters, because the daddy is the one who taught his son how to stand up and be a man and to confront systems that he's not comfortable with. His daddy's the one that gave him the strength to do what he's doing right now. So shout out to the proud, strong fathers in the community. Shout out to all the black men that serve as role models. Shout out to all the bonus dads that are out there that are maybe raising kids and are not yours. Shout out to the football coaches and the neighborhood mentors that are looking out for these young men, because the manhood comes from learning that from a man. If you don't learn learn that from a man, you ain't. It's gonna be hard to be a real man. Women can't teach you how to be a man, just like I can't teach a young girl how to be a woman. So his father is critical in the development of the great leader that he is becoming. So I'm extremely proud of what he's doing. Extremely proud. Again, maybe, I heard people say he's mad because he ain't got no playing time. Maybe he is. Maybe he's mad because they didn't give him the right crimson colored socks for the game. But it's his right to be mad because this system is a system that should make all of you mad. This is a multi-billion-dollar wealth extraction out of the Black community that takes place every single year. And you look past it because you don't think you deserve any better. Give me a yes in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. The reason you're not upset about this is because you don't see what I'm seeing. You don't see, you think this is par for the course. You think that you deserve less. It's not them being a white supremacist. It's your inherent belief in Black inferiority that leads you to think that it makes sense for all these gifted Black athletes that are literally $1 trillion commodity for the community to be given away for free. That's why you don't understand. Like, whoa, wait a minute, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in the Rose Bowl getting your head cracked open. And, what are you? No, he has a right to do whatever he wants. And also remember, people aren't used to Black men taking that stand. But remember, Simone Biles did the same thing in the Olympics. She said, I don't want to go out there and do all this. I'm making a different choice. It was her right. When Naomi Osaka decided, hey, tennis is fun, but it's not fun anymore, so I don't think I want to play. It was her right. So same thing is true with this kid. It's his right to say, yeah, football was fun, but I'm not really benefiting from this, bro. So I'm gonna go do something else. Y'all gonna be all right. You're gonna be good. I'm rooting for you, bro. Good luck in the Rose Bowl. I won't be there. It's okay for him to do that. So here's the other thing about the NCAA that makes it just incredibly treacherously racist. The NCAA is one of the most racist institutions in America, right up there with the prison industrial complex. And here's another reason why. Not only are you talking about a scenario where the mostly Black athletes don't get paid, and then when they get done playing, most of them don't go to the NFL, and also the same university that used them up for their athletic ability typically won't hire them as coaches. Remember, Deion Sanders, the reason Deion Sanders is straight jacking players from Florida State, and I love it. I love the fact that he's stealing players from Florida State to go to Jackson State. Y'all got to go check out that story. It's really awesome to watch. I love it. It's because remember, Deion was the greatest player in the history of Florida State football, and they wouldn't even give him the head coaching job. Florida State, as bad as y'all are, as much as y'all suck, I mean, they suck ass. Like, they literally got beat by a school that was damn near a community college. I think it was Jacksonville State or something. Florida State is absolute garbage. So as bad as y'all are, y'all should be willing to hire my dog to be your head coach, because whoever y'all got coaching that team is clearly unqualified for the gig. Florida State football has seen a horrific decay. So you won't even in the midst of that misery that Florida State football is going through, they still wouldn't give Deion Sanders that job. So to me, again, this is a microcosmic, episodic example of what happens all across the country. A lot of guys, they go to college, they're playing, you're the star of the team, everybody loves you, like, yeah, this is my school, everybody know me here. Then you graduate, and then you come back like, hey, yo, coach, I'm free now. The NFL contract ended. I'm not, the coach cut me, but hey, I can come back and be a coach, right? Yeah, maybe you can get a job as a receivers coach. Maybe you can coach the running backs. Maybe you can be a grad assistant, get $20,000 a year, some shit like that, right? But you ain't gonna be Nick Saban. They're like, no, there's only one Nick Saban up in this motherfucker. There's only one Massa that's going to be running this plantation. So here's how we do things at Alabama. The Negroes do all the work, and Nick Saban gets all the money, and his assistants. That's how things gonna work in Alabama. There ain't no black Nick Saban. We ain't going to have no black Lane Kiffin. There is no black Jim Harbaugh. Right? So it doesn't mean that every now and then you don't see a black person get an opportunity there. There's some black head coaches out there. I think there was one in the top 10, 1 out of 10 or something like that. But it's fascinating. Think about this, right? The majority of the talented athletes are black, but the majority of the highly paid coaches are white. That's called racism. In case you don't know, in case you've never seen it before, that's what racism looks like. You just think it's something else. You think it's a meritocracy. No, that's white supremacy. That's white supremacy. So here's how I'll conclude on the whole situation with Marcus Williamson. I support this brother immensely. I think that what he's doing is great. I think it's excellent to bring this conversation to the table. I think also one of the tragedies with the NCAA is not only are they extracting $1 billion in wealth out of the black community every year, which is one of the factors causing the decline in black wealth, but they also are inhibiting and undermining the ability of these athletes to get an education. Remember, I taught on these campuses. I taught at Ohio State. I saw the football program up close. I taught at the University of Kentucky. I saw the basketball program up close. I taught at Syracuse University. I had an argument with a football coach one time because there was a quarterback that was in my class, and then they took this kid out of class for 2 weeks to get ready for two games. They had one game across the country in Utah or something, and another game across the country. And I emailed this coach back and I said, is he a student athlete or is he a professional athlete? Because you're treating him like a professional athlete right now. You do understand that my class is extremely difficult, and this young man is going to fail the class if you don't let him come to class. Football is, I'm a fan of football just like everybody else, but you are setting this kid up for failure. And next thing you know, guess what they did? They took him out of my class because they didn't want a black man like me talking to a black man like him. That's what they do. They divide. They get you in that space. This happens in sports and entertainment. They suck out black people. Next thing you know, he's a superstar. He's surrounded by this Jewish agent, and he got this white lawyer and all the white girls all around him. And they disconnect him from the people in the community that are going to have his best interest at heart. So this is why I love what Marcus Williamson is doing, because he's got that black father in his corner that's going to keep him black and keep him rooted in the things he needs to understand. Those are the people that end up becoming different in this space. Ezekiel Elliott's father, Ezekiel played at Ohio State. He's now at the Dallas Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott's father, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, might have either been a former or a member of the Nation of Islam or something like that. He's in my inbox now and then. So these black men who have smart black men in their ear, they're different. They're built different. They make different choices. They see the world different. They're making real power plays in the world because they're getting support from the community. The black community is their power base. Because I'm gonna tell you, the same people that will boost you up, they will knock you right back down. They will pull the rug right up under your black ass, and you won't know what happened. So I love what's going on. I think it's excellent. And I think this kid's making a great point. And at some point, maybe there will be some economic justice served in the NCAA. I don't know when that day will be. But if you want to know my 2 cents on the issue, it's very, very clear. It's very, very basic. This is not a heavy debate. The reason that when I would go on CNN and all these other places and talk about whether college athletes should be paid, there's a reason why every episode they say, well, we reached out to the NCAA to get someone who would debate you, and they declined to send a representative. Well, of course you declined, because you know that you're wrong. You can't defend your bullshit. You can't defend this system. This system is terrible. It's wrong. It's unethical. Ain't nothing to defend. You can't defend financial rape. You can't. You can't. So at the end of the day, that's what it is. And it's up to y'all to decide what y'all gonna do about it, because they're gonna keep on making their money. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Go to boycewatkins.com if you want to join that book club and just see what else we have going on. Also, feel free to text the word "boyce" to 31996. I'm sure at some point, if I keep talking like this, they're going to ban me from my YouTube channel or something. So we got a plan B. The plan B is text. So text the word "boyce" to 31996. I will hit you guys up periodically via text about a couple times a week, and let you guys know when I'm live and all that. So thank you for enjoying the conversation. Once again, I want to reiterate, we believe in freedom of speech. You ain't got to agree with me. You just got to hear me out. So can we agree on that? Give me a yes in the chat if that's okay. I respect your point of view, even if you disagree. So do not think that we are not like the rest of the world right now. The rest of the world is full of demagoguery and people getting mad because somebody disagrees. And then, I'm a Democrat, you a Republican, blah, blah, blah. I got the jab, you didn't. We don't do that over here. We respect other points of view, because the best way to learn is to put yourself in the shoes of those who see the world differently, so you can see the issue from a multitude of angles. That's how we're going to be smarter than everybody else, because B1 people, you can't tell me that we don't have a special secret sauce that makes us better than everyone else when it comes to confronting the future. Okay, guys, so I'm out here. God bless you. Love you. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.